Don Rumsfeld, of course, was the Secretary of Defense under George Bush from 2000 to 2006. He was a colossal failure, probably the worst defense secretary we've ever had. He had this brilliant idea to attack a country that did not attack us on 9/11. That was Iraq. And in fact, he diverted resources from Afghanistan to Iraq. He basically started those two wars, and during his reign, they were as big a disaster as you could possibly imagine. At the point that Rumsfeld left, Iraq was pandemonium, nightly beheadings. Do you remember in 2006 how terrible Iraq situation was? Now, when there's bombings every week, it's lightened up from the Rumsfeld era. All right, now, nonetheless, Rumsfeld is going to go on television talking about how he would have done things right. Really? All right, well, let's watch first.
I don't think it was a tough decision. We've seen a lot of instances where presidents over the years have had to make decisions like that. I think after spending that amount of time, that number of years, and that much money, and finally when all that comes together, to not make that decision, it seemed to me, would just be dumbfounding. I can't imagine any president not making that decision.
Well, the funny thing is, I can. It was your president because of the order that you gave. So he's saying, oh, killing Bin Laden, come on, who wouldn't have done that? But there's a literal answer to that. It's Don Rumsfeld. There's a Senate report on it. It's was by the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and the report is called The Tora Bora Revisited, How We Failed to Get Bin Laden and Why It Matters Today. In the report, they talk about how there was a U.S. general near Tora Bora with about 5,000 troops. And he asked Don Rumsfeld, that guy you just saw, specifically him, for permission to pursue Bin Laden. Rumsfeld said no. This is not a matter in dispute. It is an absolute certifiable fact. In fact, the way that Rumsfeld and the Republicans respond to that is, well, you know, we wanted to let the local Afghans be in charge of that operation because we thought it would go better. He explains that, you know, we wanted to make sure that we did not antagonize the local population because we thought it might encourage an insurgency. What are you talking about? You stayed there for another 10 years. Yet we antagonized the local population by occupying for 10 years. But the one time we had Bin Laden cornered in Tora Bora, you did not pursue. So there's no person in the world that has less authority to tell President Obama that it was an easy decision than the guy who made the exact wrong decision. And he has, they have some nerve going on TV talking about that. By the way, Bin Laden thought he was dead. There are reports from inside his compound that we found out about later that he had written his last will and testament and was praying to Allah because we had him surrounded. But Rumsfeld wouldn't go in. Now, look, there's a million reasons why you think he might not have gone in. The most generous is that he is grotesquely incompetent, that he is the worst Secretary of Defense, that when we have the guy who is our #1 most wanted guy and we have him surrounded, he's so horribly incompetent that he can't even get him in that situation. That is the most generous assessment. Of course, another assessment is, hey, you know what? If you got Bin Laden that early, we hadn't gone into Iraq yet. It would have been awfully hard to justify the Iraq war if you'd already gotten the guy who did 9/11. And it would have been hard to justify staying in Afghanistan for another 10 years and longer if you'd already gotten Bin Laden. You make the decision on why Rumsfeld didn't make that call on pursuing him. But it is a fact that he did not. And it is a fact that he is the least qualified human being to criticize President Obama or to tell him that it was an easy decision to get Bin Laden. What a pathetic loser Don Rumsfeld is.